Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Pikmin 3 Deluxe tournament. I'm PiePusher11, and here with me is Kat.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cap, and I am a Pikmin community leader along with my good friend Pie Pusher here. And so hopefully we're going to have a nice game with Will and Colin with Pikmin 3 Normal. And they've begun.
And they're off.
Installation kit.
So starting off with day one here, we got this Charlie section introducing us to yellow Pikmin.
Right. And you basically have to go through a whole bunch of mechanics super quickly.
Just a quick tutorial section to teach you how to play the game. Won't expect too much time difference between our runners in this early section here.
Yeah.
It's kind of more of a formality than anything else.
Yeah, it is interesting. I remember one time, I don't know, especially when I saw, I forget, was it Jayhawk versus, this is losers, right?
Yeah.
I think I remember seeing Jayhawk versus Colin, and like even then, I thought that was a little bit interesting, only just in the beginning where it is crazy how many small optimizations there are at the top level, you know? Like watching the tutorial section from, I don't even know what happened here, but actually Colin was ahead a little bit earlier, but then Will was able to sort of pull a bit ahead. Getting into the cave, maybe there was some movement.
Yeah. Looked like Colin accidentally paused a couple times.
Yeah.
Right. So now we're reuniting with Alf, and we're meeting the red Pikmin.
Yeah.
This section here sort of introduces us to the concept of growing more Pikmin and using our army to finish tasks, I guess. First, we got to build this bridge to get over to the other section.
Yeah. Both Will and Colin are doing a good job of sort of, you can push those pieces that those three Pikmin are carrying, and that's actually sort of a fun Pikmin 3 thing you can do to speed up those pieces.
Yeah, so right now all of our Pikmin are leaf Pikmin, and later on in the run you'll see that they'll mature into flower Pikmin. But leaf Pikmin are quite a bit slower than flower Pikmin, so having Alf sort of push them along will help speed things up a little bit.
Yeah. It's it's a little linear, but of course the main thing is always just making sure that you get the thing that's preventing you from moving on done as fast as possible. And so
right, so now that we've finished the bridge and we're in this other section, we'll be trying to collect all these pellets and enemies to grow up our Pikmin numbers. We need to push this box that's in our way, and we need 20 Pikmin to do that.
Colin seemed to save a little bit of time he did a little bit of some weird movement to the onion, but he saved a little bit of time throwing the Pikmin onto the pellets. A lot of this game is just, because especially with the motion controls, it's being precise with being precise and quick with your throws. And if you're really precise and decisive and show a little bit of urgency, then it's a really good way of sort of bridging the gap between you and the runners that you're racing. Like, even though Will was ostensibly ahead going to the pellet area, Colin was able to load up all of the Pikmin onto the pellets faster than Will. And because of that, even though he was a little bit behind getting the red onion, he's now sort of taken a slight advantage, which is just a really good way of looking at like urgency and whatnot. Oh, it seems that Will has forgotten a sheer grub, which is unfortunate. Well, even though they definitely seem to be going back and forth a lot right now. She will somehow, I don't know how, but Will has somehow taken the lead again. Yeah, so this could prove to be, depending on how this is a close race so far. I mean, it will really come down to how comfortable both people are with the skips. But
yes, it's a really close race so far, but we still have plenty of the run to go.
yeah, the spending, especially because Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Well, especially compared to some other of the games in the Pikmin series, is very sequence break heavy, right? And so
yeah, very trick heavy.
Yeah,
it's very possible to lose or gain a lot of time by nailing the glitches really well, or losing time by messing them up.
yeah, but I mean, at least there's not too much of a deficit incurred between the two runners at this point in time, which is good to see.
Yeah, so day 2, kind of like day 1, there's no real major skips. It's all about optimizing your gameplay.
Rocks are the new Pikmin. So every day for the next couple days, you're gonna basically encounter a new type of Pikmin. Generally, and so day 1 was of course reds. I guess you do a little bit of yellows, but I mean mainly the main Pikmin that you meet is with Alpha's reds, and then in day 2 you're gonna meet rocks, which are a powerful group of Pikmin. And hopefully save Brittany, which gets you your second captain, and then you do a boss fight to get the treasure that allows you to enter the next area.
Yep. So this the early section of this day is all about optimizing and multitasking. So you got your 21 Pikmin that we've grown last time. You need to break down this gate on the side, grow more Pikmin, and then build this bridge. And let's see how well our runners will use their resources to accomplish these tasks here.
Yeah. So what Will does pretty well immediately is he goes charges that gate, which is it is a gate, right? It's a wall. In the earlier games, it's more gate-like, but you can basically call them walls at this point, and it starts that moving while he grows, which is a pretty good tactic. And then
so there's that wall that's over across the river there that if you get Pikmin on it right now, it'll be done by the time you get there. But if you don't, you'll have to wait a few seconds on it. So that's just that little optimizations.
Right. Of course, at the cost of you not really being able to nectar those reds, but the speed is what matters the most, and so that is the optimal strategy.
Yeah. So this nectar right here is the first opportunity we have to grow flower Pikmin, and flower Pikmin are much faster than leaf Pikmin. So we want to get as many of those as we can.
Something that's similar in the other Pikmin games is overall the idea that you want to have as much of your squad flowered as possible, and make sure that if things need to be carried, that flower Pikmin are going to be the ones doing it, just because of how much faster they are. In a game in which collecting things is the limiting factor, it makes sense that you really want to make sure that those carries are optimized if you want to go really fast.
Exactly. And it looks like Colin is pulled ahead a little bit. He's going to be the first to enter the rock Pikmin cave.
Yeah. A lot of stuff is orders and cycles. So what happened is that Will accidentally did some slightly poor math on how many pieces you need to carry back the bridge. So there was 2 pieces that were remaining, and he had to carry those sort of separately. and that hemorrhaged a lot of time and allowed Colin to pull ahead and discovering rock Pikmin, which he just did right here.
Right, so we start off with these 6 rock Pikmin, and we're going to grow 8 more. Now, these 14 will be able to carry us over for a while.
Yeah.
So, unlike the other types of Pikmin, rock Pikmin can't latch onto enemies and do damage over time, but they do a strong hit as soon as they're thrown the first time.
Yeah.
And in addition, they can break these crystals that you can see, like those crystals that were on the ground and this crystal gate here.
Colin's going to pick up a fruit. In any percent, you actually don't need that many fruits, so I believe you just pick up, a couple. And that's one that you basically can pick up with almost no time loss.
Yep, that's strawberry, and then 1 more fruit on day 4.
Yes,
the fruits, even though they are the stated goal of the game, are kind of an afterthought in 90%.
Well, you just need enough fruit to enough fruit
to survive to the end of the game.
Yeah, exactly, because the game ends when you defeat the final boss. And so, even though it would be nice to collect all the fruits, the main goal of the game is to sort of defeat the Plasm Wraith. You understandably in any percent, you only don't want to waste time collecting fruit you don't need to collect.
Exactly.
And so,
all right. So our runners have now rescued Brittany, and now we're backtracking back to the landing site. This back section here is going to be the path to the boss of this area. Now it looks like we're going to be growing some more reds here, killing these blowhogs.
Yeah. Also, if I don't know if Colin's going to do that, but what you can do is you can break some of those eggs and try to flower more of your purple. Sorry, not purples. Flower more of your rocks and your reds. Because you just, again, the more flowers you have, the merrier. Just because you will just because you have a little bit more leeway on like carrying stuff, which is really important.
So after our runners break down this gate, they're going to be getting to the first boss, the Armored Maudad. So this boss has crystal armor all over it that needs to be broken with rock Pikmin. And then once we break off a piece of its armor, we'll charge our reds on it to kill it.
Yeah, for sure. And
the fastest strat for killing this boss is to just break off one piece of its armor on its tail.
Right, and then you charge that piece. I think we're gonna see Colin execute that. Oh, I went for the wrong piece by accident. That's okay. So he's
a couple throws there. Will actually the first to break off the armor.
So Will was able to lock onto the correct thing and was able to target the tail. And so now you're going to see him get the tail, and that does a good majority of the damage, but can't actually do 100% of the damage, just because. So you actually want to whistle it off a little bit earlier, because if he has that low health, then he sort of goes up, and yeah, but basically he was able to do it.
Yep, and Will pulling ahead a little bit here, looks like.
Yeah, Will pulls ahead a little bit. I don't see, and then this is where carries are important. So Will has a little bit of, Will had a lot of rock leaves carrying the phone, and that's fine, all things considered. But Colin, I think, had a much better phone carry, and it's possible that will actually allow him to pull ahead of Will. We will have to see how it ends up. But
yeah, the speed that the phone is carried is actually surprisingly a kind of a big deal.
Well, because the phone is the last thing that comes in before you end the day, right? And so because of that, right?
I'm saying, like, if it's even a tiny bit slower, that can equate to a pretty large time loss just because of the distance it has to travel.
Right, yeah.
So we may see Colin pull ahead just because of that.
Yeah.
It's leaves on it.
But Colin wasn't max carrying it, so I think it actually evened out a little.
That kind of evened it out, yeah.
Oh well. Because Will had a better Mod Dad fight, Will is gonna pull ahead here. Normally you end the day, but he forgot to come back and pluck.
Looks like he's got to pluck a few more Pikmin before ending the day.
So I think that might cost him the lead. Actually, we'll see.
Looks like that just about evened it out. He's gonna try to call those last couple Pikmin before ending the day. So day 3 has probably one of the biggest sequence breaks of the run here.
Right. I mean, recently, very, very recently, a trick known as yellow onion skip was...
we've always known about yellow onion skip, but recently it was rerouted into the category. I don't expect either of our runners to go for yellow onion skip, but
no, but there is still. I mean, I only mean to say that, like, now, of course, at the top level, day 3 has become increasingly super broken. Like literally skipping an onion collection broken. But there's still, despite, even if the runners aren't going to try such an advanced strat this early, it is still likely that they're probably going to try some major sequence breaks. Day 3 is already pretty broken.
Yeah, so there's a big out of bounds section. You can actually just walk straight up the wall coming out of the yellow Pikmin cave, and by doing a couple clips and sneaking around some invisible walls, you can actually make it straight to the boss fight and skip all of what was intended to be done on day 3.
Yeah.
So before we get to that, we have to escape the yellow Pikmin cave, and it looks like Colin will be growing yellows, not skipping the yellow onion.
Yeah, so one thing that you can do, I'll just describe it while he grows some yellows, because he's going to just be throwing 1 pellets and growing some yellows in the next phase. But what you can do is there's actually a way of, instead of activating the yellow onion here, what you can do is you can basically walk along. You can basically get up onto the wall, sort of in an out of bounds area, and you can basically walk along that, and you can exit the cave without actually ever technically activating the yellow onion.
Yeah, since the loading zone to go outside is always there, you can just leave if you get up out of bounds.
Yeah, and of course that makes things a little bit complicated because you never activated the yellow onion. But it turns out that for any percent, you don't really need yellow Pikmin.
Yellows aren't really necessary after day 3.
Yeah, after day 3. So it's so it turns out that's what you can do. Of course,
Colin missed a throw on that. His Pikmin was just not close enough to push that boulder.
Yeah.
And Colin is the first one out of the yellow Pikmin cave.
Yep.
So he will be throwing his yellow Pikmin over to Alf, and
then he's
go here over to where the out of bounds trick starts.
Right. So Alf is going. So how these sequence breaks in Pikmin 3 usually work is you usually have one captain have all the Pikmin, and the other captain does the sequence break to get to an out of bounds area, and then you whistle, and then you basically then whistle. Then the captain that basically is in the sequence break area whistles the captain with all the Pikmin, and then that's how you actually advance to a next area in a sequence break like fashion. So this is what Colin's trying to do. He's trying to do a little wall run.
Yeah, so essentially this wall is actually just a very sloped floor. So
Will was very fast at that, by the way. Will just completely took the lead by that fast out of bounds movement. Good job, Will.
Ooh. He's not out of the woods yet. This stream section here has a chance of either falling out of bounds if you go too far left, or going into the loading zone like just happened if he's too far to the right. Which
this is why the sequence break is tricky.
Yeah, day 3 can be a pretty big reset point, especially for newer runners, because of that. So let's see if Colin can get it. And Colin manages to get it.
Wow, nice. Good job, Colin. So that's what you want to happen. He basically falls in the correct area, and then suddenly Brittany's there and can basically bring the entire squad into the Fossbat arena, because by virtue of just, sort of being able to whistle a squad from the far, and the mechanics of when you enter a new area, all the Pikmin in your party come with you, regardless of where the Pikmin are, and so you can use the long whistle advantage to...
as long as the game thinks they're with you, then they'll come with you when you go through a loading zone, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it really helps from a sequence break perspective.
And Will gets around that second try.
Not bad, not bad. Good job, Will. Again, these sequence breaks are a very common way to lose time, hemorrhage time. But there's a couple more left in the run. So
Ooh, Will having a little trouble calling his Pikmin.
well, he's also whistle the reds. There you go. There you go. Well, they're all... Well, we'll see what happens.
Looks like he lost all his yellows.
Yeah, I mean, he just... You need to just whistle and go, and I think he waited too long, and... Yeah, it's I think some of the yellows are drowning.
Oh no, and he's opting to reset the day entirely.
Dang, that's unfortunate. Focusing back on, so Colin is now focusing back on Colin. He's going back to day 4 now, and what you do on day 4? Day 4 is you get wings, right?
Nope. Day 4 is Tropical Wilds.
Tropical Wilds, yeah, Mir Slug. I always get Mir Slug and
So day 4 is pretty similar to day 3. Actually, there's you basically just skip straight to the boss. And although it's not quite as broken.
Yeah, the out of bounds trick in Tropical Wilds is a little bit less intense than the one in
less risky. Definitely less risky
than the ones in Tundra, yeah. And what you do in Tropical Wilds here is you do what's called a captain clip, And the basic idea when you do the captain clip is you can grab onto a captain, but if you whistle while you're holding a captain, the captain you basically release. You release the captain that you're
You
holding.
just set them down, and if you do it at a very precise angle, you can actually set them down out of bounds and then dismiss to have them fall out. And Colin gets a first charge. That is very impressive.
Colin did a gorgeous captain clip. Yeah, Colin did a gorgeous captain clip right there. If I'm going to be honest, that was very impressive.
So now we just need another long whistle to get our Pikmin up here.
Yeah.
And we'll start Colin will be starting the Mir Slug fight. So this fight, the Mir Slug has 2 attacks. He can go low and try to suck your Pikmin down up into him and eat them, or he can pop up and shoot rocks at you. He's always going to go low for the first cycle and then high for the second cycle. And then so to do this fight fast, you just want to be ready to charge your Pikmin at him as soon as he becomes vulnerable. And it looks like Colin's actually opting to do some work over in the background, some multitasking there.
Yeah, I think
not something you see in any percent very often, but you do see in all fruits used a lot of multitasking during this fight.
I think for it's slightly suboptimal, but I think for slightly less experienced runners, maybe it's a little bit useful because then you don't have to worry about doing all of that multitasking while the treasure is coming back, because or if it beats out the treasure, I know that can be a little bit stressful, especially for some newer runners. And so I think Colin is opting to start the dig on the fruit and get the wall down now, before the treasure comes in, so he doesn't have to worry about doing it while
it can get a little messy if you're a bit too slow.
Yeah, and just so I think, and so there's, it's not maybe the most optimal, but it definitely, it doesn't lose too much time, all things considered. And then
so just like at the end of day 2, all that really matters in terms of speed here is getting all our Pikmin on the phone, and then making sure everything else is done before the phone gets back.
I think Colin did a little bit of a rookie mistake here, where he charged the rocks onto the phone, which minimum carries them, and then he struggled to get the rest of the Pikmin onto the phone, which happens sometimes.
Yeah, Pikmin are notoriously bad at picking stuff up in Pikmin 3, especially if it's already moving.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate, but because of that.
And since he charged his rocks, so he wants to use that bulwark to grow more rocks, but now he doesn't have enough rock Pikmin to send it to the rocks, so he's going to be growing a couple more.
Yeah, we'll see how that affects. I mean, you really want those extra rocks for the Myroclops fight, right?
Yeah, so you definitely want them for Myroclops.
Yeah, we'll see how he reacts.
Looks like he's opting to just grow a bunch of 1 pellets instead.
Yeah, I mean that'll still get you a couple extra. I mean, it'll be better than nothing, but
yeah. The speedrun finishes this game in 7 days, so we're about halfway done here.
Right. Well, and depending on how the other fights go, Colin could be in an okay position. I know his personal best is a 59, and so it's reasonable to wager that he could still sort of pull ahead of that if a couple other fights go well. Nice. All right. So now that was honestly, I think I think all things considered, that was actually, I mean, the carry was a little bit suspect, but I think overall that actually was a pretty solid day 4 for Colin.
Yeah, that was a very solid day 4.
Mostly because I mean, as we mentioned the first time, I mean that the captain clip that he did was super well done. You know, very good textbook captain clip. And that definitely was probably a huge boon. You know, some of these.
So now we're moving on to day 5.
Yeah.
And in day 5, we'll be meeting which are basically the most broken Pikmin. So to start off this day, there's going to be another captain clip to skip building a bridge to the wing Pikmin. And then there's sort of two areas of Twilight River. The first area is going to be focused on growing our wing Pikmin, and then the second area is we're going to basically there's another out of bounds trick to skip up to the boss.
I have to say, I do love the Pikmin 3 Deluxe version of this out of bounds trick more than the original Pikmin 3 version. It's in the Pikmin in 3 Deluxe you do. I mean, people call it different things. I like calling it the portable sunset clip, where you basically achieve this clip by grabbing a fruit and then throwing the captains on top of the fruit. Man, Colin has been killing it with the captain clips. I gotta say, he's been doing good work on those captain clips. He got that captain clip first try as well.
Yeah, that is not easy to get these first try.
Yeah, no, he's
making it look easy. It is not.
No, he's actually doing some really good work on those captain clips. It's really impressive. And yes, and then you do that clip so that you can basically discover wings as early as possible.
Yeah, so now we'll be growing somewhere between 20, somewhere around 20 wing Pikmin. Top level runners will grow 17, but there's...
Yeah. I mean, wings are pretty valuable, mostly because, especially with spicy sprays, which is something that we haven't talked about yet, wing Pikmin become very strong and become very versatile enemies, or sorry, Pikmin to use. Also with their carrying ability and general versatility there.
Yeah, so one thing to note about wing Pikmin carrying is that they carry stuff off the ground, which will let them take faster paths sometimes, but they do carry slower. So if you're not using the wing Pikmin's ability, it's generally faster to carry stuff with the grounded Pikmin.
Yes. Will has successfully executed the day 3 sequence break, so now he's finally out of day 3, and so hopefully he has more fruitful endeavors on day 4 and beyond.
Looks like Colin's going a bit out of his way to grow quite a few wing Pikmin.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind that Colin doesn't necessarily know where Will is as well, and this is a race, so I think Colin might be doing stuff that you wouldn't really see in a traditional any percent run, just for insurance. You know, it's just like he needs it. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, it's you know, you spend a little bit of time doing that, but then you basically have
yeah, more wing Pikmin to work with in case some die, etc., etc.
Yeah.
All right. So now that Colin's pulled up that dam, the river, this side of the river is flowing again, and we can use these lily pads to get to the back section.
Right. And these and this group over here. Oh, please don't miss this lily pad, bro. You wasted too much time trying to kill those orange bulborbs, and he missed the lily pad. Oh no, he didn't. Oh wow.
He got on it, but he left a couple Pikmin behind. Yeah, you may opt to just leave them behind, or looks like he's going back to getting them with Charlie.
Yeah, but I think you could have probably ignored one of those orange bulborbs. Like, well, what you can do now, actually, if you're clever, is you can, what you can do now is you can,
So you can go back with
and whistle
Brittany and push the bag down, maybe.
Yeah, you can. I was gonna say you can push the bag down. Oh wow, he's getting the bombs. I feel
bombs. We don't normally see the bombs.
Yeah, I feel like that because the cycles were messed up. Colin started going rogue, and he's like, "Well, if I have the bombs, I'm gonna grab them."
Doing some
right.
Some
The smart thing here would be if he goes around with Brittany, and when basically if Charlie and Alf meet here, right. So
absolutely.
Charlie and Alf meet here. I don't know. He has 100 Pikmin on the field, so the thing that you need to do, yeah, there we go. He needs to go to Brittany, and then if he comes back, he can whistle everyone.
Yeah. So in this back section, there's going to be a plant that we alluded to earlier that has spicy berries, and what these will do is give us the ability to use spicy sprays. And spicy sprays will be very important for killing bosses.
Yeah. Spicy sprays basically double Pikmin animations and make all of their attack power, I guess, 10, which is, I guess, sort of an arbitrary unit, but like basically it doubles most Pikmin's attack power. I think it quadruples Winged Pikmin's attack power, which is what make Winged Pikmin so powerful. Spicied. That's why you want a lot of Winged Pikmin.
Yeah, it increases their attack power, and it also increases their attack speed. And
right.
More importantly, in Pikmin 3 specifically, it actually flowers all of your Pikmin as well. So they're permanent flowers, even if they were leaves before.
I actually didn't know that. That's actually very useful. Oh, jeez. So the first step to do the portable sunset clip is you gotta sort of get this persimmon out from under the clutches of this orange bulborb here, which he successfully does.
And so essentially what we're going to do is toss 2 captains on top of it, and then toss 1 captain up out of bounds.
Right. So you need
that will allow us to.
You need all 3 captains for this trick, basically.
You need all 3 captains, and essentially what this will allow us to do is skip straight to the loading zone for the boss. So
the reason why this is tricky is it can be sometimes hard to get both captains onto the portable sunset. So yeah,
I'm having a little trouble keeping them both on there.
Yeah,
but,
he actually gets it. Trouble. So yeah, so that's what you want to do is you throw both captains on the portable sunset, and then 1 captain throws the other into this out of bounds arena, which works pretty well. Oh, he's in an awkward.
Oh, he clicked back in bounds, so he's gonna have to.
It's fine. You can actually just.
I think he's gonna have to do the trick again.
Is he gonna have to do the trick again? Oh man.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. I thought there's some way that you can get over, but now I sort of see there's.
I don't think you can back that up now.
No, that's unfortunate. A little bit of spaghetti is normal in a race, but it always hurts to see sometimes when it happens.
Yeah, so the boss of this area is the Scornet Maestro, and on the Wii U version of this game, it actually always took 4 cycles to kill this. But since all bosses on normal mode have half health, we can kill it in 2 cycles.
Yeah, which is very impressive. Well, maybe it's not impressive. It's because it's half health, but it's very fast.
Yes.
to say the least. Impressive was the wrong word, so that's my mistake. But it is very fast. The bosses being faster at the Deluxe being a huge boon, especially if you want to learn the game. It's nice when the bosses die easy for the speed run.
So the boss has a whole bunch of scornets that they will attack you with, kind of like how you have a whole bunch of Pikmin that you'll attack them with. It's kind of neat little thing there.
All right. But now Colin has succeeded at the out of bounds trick, and basically all Charlie has to do. You don't have to kill this guy, dude. You're okay. It's okay. But Charlie
because he fell out of bounds, because he fell down.
Oh, because the ball would move, right?
Yeah, sort of fell down there. He's not supposed to be there, so it was probably a good idea.
I think it would have been fine anyway because of how quick you warp, right? But it would have been a little tight.
Yeah, so on the first cycle here, while the Scornet Maestro is sort of lining up for his attack, you're going to want to kill about 20 of the little guys, and that will make his attack come out faster next time. It will save somewhere between like 15 and 20 seconds, I think. It's
wow.
Surprisingly big time save.
But I don't think
Doesn't look like Colin is.
Colin might not be aware of that, so because of that, he's basically opting to not kill any of the Scornets.
Right. So once the Scornets go away, he is vulnerable, and we're able to charge him with Winged Pikmin.
Yeah.
And we repeat that for the second cycle.
Basically, because he didn't kill any Scornets, this section is taking longer, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, they're just sort of hanging around waiting for a bit. Now, most runners would opt to use a spicy spray on this fight to help speed up the attack. And also to flower all our Pikmin, of course. So now we have one of the other most infamous tricks of the run is Louis Clip. So since we skipped building a bridge to get up to this boss fight, there's actually an invisible wall that's stopping us from carrying Louis all the way down. So we're going to have to maneuver him in just the right way to clip him through that invisible wall and back down.
Yeah, totally.
And this is another one of those tricks that is very variable. You can lose a lot of time here.
Yeah.
Just to having a bad clip. So let's see how Colin will do with it.
So yeah, you have to slide. So then Louis slides down here, and then you dismiss. And oh, that was close. He's getting there. Oh, he's super close.
That was excellent.
That was actually an excellent clip. So now Louis falls down, and you can switch back to whatchamacallit, and you can just. Colin, just throw 10, buddy. It doesn't have to be this hard. There you go. But yes. But now he's carrying them, notice, with the non-wings. And he still has a spicy spray to burn. And he might be... The old strat would be to burn it on Myroclops, but it's possible with the Pikmin that you grow to do Myroclops on Deluxe sprayless.
Yeah, so there's two more fights left. The Myroclops and the Plasmwraith, the final fight. And we have one spray, so it's sort of up to our runners which one they want to use it for.
Yeah. Now, of course, for Plasmwraith, you could get an extra spray from an A. It's possible.
Yeah, there's a bit of RNG with that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that might be something that Colin's thinking about.
Right, and Will looks like he's catching up a little bit after that day 3. He's already on his way to the back section of Twilight River.
Yes, we are. We're quickly approaching the end, at least for Colin. 2 days left.
Yep, 2 days left, and day 6 is hopefully going to go by pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's just you got another captain clip to the boss, and then you just fight the boss and carry Louis back.
It's a pretty common theme in this game. You clip up to the boss, you fight the boss.
Yes, viewers might be recognizing a pattern here. That is how this run goes. A little bit of a pattern.
So we're meeting our final type of Pikmin, blue Pikmin, and we're not really going to get to see too much of them in this run. The main reason that we grow them in the first place is because there's an invisible wall that stops you from getting to the boss until after you've plucked your first blue Pikmin. So one last captain clip here. Let's see if Colin can get it first try again. Not quite.
His good luck on the previous captain clips proved to be his undoing. But no, he's he decided he opts to use go here. But yes, and now that out of bounds trick gets Alf to where he needs to be. Kill some stuff here just so it doesn't get in the way later.
So we're going to use one more long whistle to get all our Pikmin into the boss fight. So now in this boss fight, there's sort of 2 phases to it. The first phase, you have to break off this crystal, and then on the second phase, you actually get to do damage to it and kill it, ideally in one cycle. Before we do that, we have to charge our Pikmin at his leg to sort of knock him off balance here.
And you just want to break this crystal as fast as possible. Yeah, just keep throwing. Come on. Yes, there he goes. Good. He broke the crystal before anything got eaten, which is, I would say, pretty important. So now you want to basically you want to start throwing Pikmin onto the Mir Clops at a certain point.
You want to sort of bait him into eating at your Pikmin and charge all your Pikmin on him at just the right time.
Yeah.
If you do too early, there's actually a damage cap, and he'll instantly shake your Pikmin off. But it looks like Colin managed to get it just right.
Yeah, Colin managed to buck the damage cap.
There's the one cycle.
Nice, there you go.
Very nice.
Little scary for a moment, but no, he got it. It's good. It's all good.
Yep, and it looks like he opted to use his spicy spray on the Mir Clops as well.
Yeah,
which is very
that was the old traditional thing to do. So it makes a little bit of sense. So yeah, and then you have to carry because you can in the modern strat. There actually is a way there to quickly build the bridge here, but
looks like
but
maybe hasn't learned it yet, and
right.
Of course, best to do what you're more familiar with.
Yeah, of course. Of course, it makes complete sense.
So he's gotta just wait on those winged Pikmin to carry Louis all the way back.
He's actually breaking some of the eggs here just to see. I think he's trying to roll some dice. To see if he can. Normally, it can be tradition to leave 10 yellows or reds in this area to make the swap between the winged and the non-winged, because non-winged carry faster.
Yeah, just to say, those few seconds.
Yeah, but I think Colin has opted to not do that, and so he's just gonna let the wings carry Louis all the way back.
All right, and Colin's gonna be moving on to the final day.
Yes. Colin, I don't know how long this last partition, but Colin might be on PB pace. All things considered, even with
it's very possible.
His PB is a 59.50, and so which gives him a nice 9 minutes or a little less to do day 7, which I think is totally feasible, whether
Definitely
or not
reasonable. Yes. So, there's sort of 2 sections of day 7 as well. The first is kind of like an escort mission. You gotta carry Olimar through this maze and get him out, and then there's the final fight with the Plasm Wraith.
Yeah.
So when you carry Olimar, there isn't a set path. They actually follow towards where Brittany is, so they just they go towards her,
Yeah, exactly. Makes a lot of sense in that regard.
And they intended this not necessarily to be done in one day. Like, they designed it so that you can make progress and open up shortcuts to make it easier when you come back on previous days. But we're going to be able to take advantage of that and actually open up some of the shortcuts the wrong way.
Right. It's interesting. It definitely doesn't feel like when you play it casually. The game gives you a sense of urgency, so you don't feel like you can do it in 2 days. But there is truly nothing stopping you from ending the day and going back and doing it. Of course, in a speedrun, we are going to try to do this more than handily in 1 day, with any luck. But we will see. So yeah, you carry it. Colin's already putting the wings on it, and Olimar teleports further down the cave, within the Plasm Wraith in his incorporeal water wraith type form. Kind of chase him down. And you max load that, and then you have enough wings where you can actually, if you play your cards, where you can just charge the wings up this slope and they will latch on.
Yep, you can also use yellows to throw them up the ledge and charge them up there, which is the strat that I prefer, but some people like to use wings instead.
At the very least, for Colin, it seemed to work out for him fine. And the next strat is you gotta break this crystal.
So then we're gonna sort of half build this bridge and then throw our captains across it. And on the other side of this bridge will be the entrance to the cave. And this cave will be like the final section, the last puzzle, I guess. But like most things in this game, we will skip it with an out-of-bounds trick.
Oh, nice! Ooh. You got a spicy.
Nice. Calling up the 1 in 5 chance of getting a spicy spray. That'll help out a lot on the final fight.
Yeah, that's really good.
So by going over here, there's this one section, this one little route that you can actually just walk straight up.
Yeah, it's nice.
And get up out of bounds.
You can basically bypass the entire puzzle that's in this cave. There's like an entire complicated like circuit puzzle in this cave that you basically just completely bypass.
Yeah, and our wing Pikmin can just fly Olimar up out of bounds to us.
Oh, they're caught on a plant. Oh gosh. Can do it. Ooh, all right, there you go.
So one thing to keep in mind with this is that you have to keep your Pikmin really close to Brittany. Like, you can't run too far ahead, or else they'll just
reroute
off back in bounds, and that'll be really messy.
Yeah, no, Colin, I think, is intentionally being fairly cautious here.
Doing pretty good with that.
We basically want to go, and there's this.
So if he dropped back in bounds, he intended to go on the other side of that gate, but we've got a little bit of a backup in pulling this clipboard here. Tossing his wings across there. And once this clipboard comes down, it's just a straight shot to escaping the cave and starting the final fight.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of nice that there is this backup here. That's good.
So the Plasm Wraith doesn't directly take damage. When you hurt him, he just sort of drops pieces of him off. And if you wait too long, he can actually reabsorb them all. So you got to be quick in attacking the pieces on the ground.
You throw a Pikmin at the gold at the blobs, and then oh no, so water. So then he'll throw. He will throw hazard-based things that you really want to take down, and you just want to keep hitting him. Nice, good. Colin seems to be doing a solid job so far.
Yeah, there's 4 different types of hazards that he could use: fire, electric, water, or crystal. And the water is probably the worst because Colin only has 1 blue Pikmin that can even deal with it.
Nice, even though he sort of spread that fire hazard without fire, but that's I like the tenacity.
Whatever works.
He is pretty low health now, so if he charges, he could get lucky. And charge with the
time will be coming up for Colin real soon here.
Yeah.
Oh, and there goes his blue Pikmin.
That's okay.
And there it is, Colin.
A pretty sizable PB. Around 50, yeah, I mean, it's hard to know how synced up it was with that, but it looked like a 58-10, which is honestly a solid PB for Colin. It's one that I'm sure he can improve in the future, but still a pretty solid one. Fortunately, Will, seems like Louis Skip has been pretty brutal so far for him, it seems, which is unfortunate. But
did he already get Louis down and we're just waiting on
Louis down? I have absolutely no clue. I was so watching.
Back. I'm not sure. Yeah, I was
watching the Plasma Wraith
on Colin.
Yeah.
Oh no, it looks like Louis is still there.
Oh. I mean, he has to end the day anyway. I don't know what he's going to do after this. We will see.
So I think Will's gonna have to clip back up using the portable sunset trick again.
It's unclear what he's gonna do. I can probably stay for like another 15 minutes, but then I do have to go. I mean, I had scheduled some other stuff for 3. Because of the original scheduling, I thought I'd be free by 3 p.m. So I can probably do another 15 minutes, and then unfortunately I'm gonna have to dip out of commentary, which is unfortunate, but that happens. I wonder if we should we tell Colin to get in here for like interview? Do we know if he has capabilities for that? I feel like that'd be good.
Yeah, I guess we can do that now.
I mean, no time like the present, right? I'll ask him. Oh, Colin, are you? I see you're here, actually.
Yeah.
What's up, dude? Congratulations on PB.
Yeah. Looked like a 5809, but I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to look back at the footage a bit.
It looked like a 5810 to me, but you can look back on it. You can see.
Yeah, I'm gonna look back at it.
But no, I mean, I honestly, I mean, you should look at the commentary when it comes time. But I mean, I thought your Charlie clips for most of the days were not Charlie clips, Captain clips were like really good.
Yeah, I just still feel like I got very lucky with them.
I don't think
just at the right angle.
They were very clean looking. I mean, I know they're not easy, but you got Louis skip pretty quickly as well.
Yeah, I think that
that looked like a really solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like Will is opting to forfeit instead of finishing out the race.
Yeah, I think Louis,
unfortunate. We really would have liked to see a finish. But
it can be hard in a run like this though, where you just have these sequence breaks that need to sort of go your way. Like if Louis skip just doesn't really let you finish, then it makes sense that it can sometimes be hard to finish. Right?
Yeah, we want to get them in here too.
Yeah, I'm down. I have like another 10 minutes or so.
Is there still anything you guys want to talk about to me or that?
I just think, I mean, the big thing regarding like your play, I mean, like I think a lot of it was pretty solid. Like your out of bounds was pretty good, among other things. And
yeah, it was a bit sad that I messed up with the Twilight River thing on my first attempt, but look, that was just me being stupid. It happens. There's nothing I can do about it anymore.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
I don't know. And then like I don't know, especially with the Scornet, you could probably get away with attacking some of the Scornets on the first attack, which will probably save you 15 seconds.
Yeah, if you kill a bunch of the Scornets, you'll save a bit of time there. So there's plenty of little time saves here and there that we could nitpick all day, but that's not really.
No, I mean it's not necessarily nitpicking. It's things that you can do to improve. I mean, I think the biggest thing you can always do to improve is just to continue to watch.
Like watching high level runs and trying to understand.
Yeah, that's also kind of how I got like really good at most of the glitches too. Just look at like, for example, Ice Cube, and just kind of learn from that.
Yeah, I mean, I
also really
Jayhawk, they're all very strong.
Yeah. And like something that I do want to point out real quick is like before I went into the formidable oak, I was like, okay, if this is not on PB pace, don't have to be nervous. When I already knew it was on PB pace by like quite a bit too.
I mean,
Mainly because I didn't mess up with Meyer Clops, unlike in my PB.
I mean, yeah, I think especially if you're a newer runner, you should basically go into the mindset that every run is PB pace. Like, there's no run that isn't PB pace. You know what I mean? I mean, I think in a way it's like you shouldn't be nervous too much about it either way because, like every run, you know, you can improve. There's so much to improve on that you should never think that like a run is dead. You know?
Yeah, like from the start, from my day one, not messing up. Unlike in my first race, still kinda a bit upset about that, but it didn't mess up.
I mean,
that I knew okay.
Yeah, I think you have to, especially in speedrunning, I think you have to like go beyond just being like mad about like one. Like you can't be mad about like one given run or like one given mistake. You can't think about them too much.
Yeah,
it's you just have to like keep moving on.
Like what you saw with the day 5 with when I messed up with I don't know what it's called with the fruit thing. Like after the aftermath of that, I just like look. I was like, yeah, okay, dang, it happened. Move on, try again.
Yeah.
So
yeah, sometimes, especially in a race, you gotta just move on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's good. I mean, especially it's like, yeah, you know, you can't get too frustrated, right? Like you clip back in bounds on the portable sunset clip, and it's just like, yeah, it happens. You know, you just go back again.
Ah, Will's here too. Hi, Will.
Well,
Louis clips.
At least it's been better than my last race.
No, you got past. You know, you got further. I mean, I just think it's, you know, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, Louis clip is pretty brutal just across the board. So, you know, that's not necessarily surprising. And I mean, you actually had, and I mean, you actually got the distant tundra clip fine. It's just like some yellows just got a little bit murked, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and it was like too many yellows to even do the Fossbet fight. Like, I think I ended up with
how many
two
candy pop buds are in the? This is just trying to like think constructively. Like, how many candy pop buds are in the Fossbat arena?
There's 2, but you need a second captain to get up to one of them.
Oh, and you only have one captain entering. Oh, I see. So you need at least 5 yellows to enter with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is unfortunate. No.
Yeah.
Well, that is truly.
Keep at it. Keep practicing.
Yeah, but no, I mean I mean, you know, you are getting better. It's
You're
just
definitely
like
improving, and that's honestly the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, in a way, Pikmin 3 is kind of like that, where like, you know, if you get, you know, there are a lot of things where, you know, they're like light switches, right? Like if you can get this one skip, then you can just sort of like move on, right? And so as you get better at the skips, then, you know, you can just sort of get further and further without too much difficulty.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, I actually have to run because this sort of went a little longer than I expected, but that's okay. And then but I just can't stay as long as I would like. But good job to both winners. Congratulations, Colin, on your victory and moving forward in the tournament. I hope to see more runs from both of you in Pikmin 3, even outside of a race setting. So I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, also if I can get more time for practice in the coming weeks, although it's finals week next week for me. So who knows?
And I'm just gonna leave my arm to rest because I actually do kind of feel like it's going in the same stage as my first race, where it just went completely downhill with it. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it to rest for a bit.
Yeah. Rest your
That's
arm,
fair.
Definitely. All right. Well, do you have any final thoughts?
Pi, also, Colin, I guess, do you have any advice for the situation I got into with the Louis clip? I feel like once he gets into that equilibrium state and I think it's a pair, falls off, like, what can you do?
What I suggest that you do is you just don't bring the pair thing, whatever it is, down there at all. Because for one, it makes it kind of more difficult to see, in my opinion. I don't know if it actually makes the clip easier. Hold up, 1 second.
Yeah, I would say you can use wing Pikmin, and then when they drop Louis, you can sort of run into him to sort of push him to the left a little bit.
Hmm.
And you want to get him as far to the left as you can. So if you have your wing Pikmin, pick him up, drop him, push him to the left, you can work your way out of it. It's not easy. Like it's really not easy to back up.
Yeah, but I gotta get going again, so.
Alright, well, congrats on PB.
Yeah, and I'll probably see you guys for the for my next race against I don't actually know who. Bye.
Yeah, let's see. I believe we have another scheduled race tonight at 5 p.m. with Ash versus Grape Smash. And Colin, your next opponent will be a person.
Oh gee. Another very easy opponent.
Alright, and with that, I think that's a good place to stop the stream.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna go now. See you guys. GG's to Will. Thank you, Pi, for commentating the race, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah. Thanks for the comms.
Alright, thanks for watching, everyone.